Vulgar language, beer throwing, and fan ejections were just a small part of the 2025 Ryder Cup. Emotions always run high at this continental event, but this isn't about who was right or wrong. This video is about the flashpoints that sparked debate, shifted narratives, and in some cases, changed the event itself. Here are the top 10 most controversial moments in Ryder Cup history. Number 10, Tiger and Phil's awkward pairing. Captain Hal Sutton rolled out the ultimate dream team on paper, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, then watched it blow up in real time. The two superstars lost both their opening day matches and looked completely out of sync, especially in foursomes, where using one ball is a big deal. Mickelson had just switched equipment, making the ball selection an absolute headache. The U.S. went on to suffer a record home defeat at the time. The debate over captain strategy, chemistry versus star power, and overcoaching versus undercoaching has lingered ever since. Number 9, Mark James and his unique captain strategy. After Europe's loss at Brookline, European captain Mark James published a memoir that lit a fuse. He revealed, among other things, that he destroyed a letter from Nick Faldo encouraging the team and that rookies saw limited action. Andrew Coulthard, a rookie who was a captain's pick over Nick Faldo, didn't play until the singles. Critics accused James of poor man management, tone-deaf leadership, while supporters argued he was being candid about a brutal week. The book turned a team room discussion into a public autopsy and kicked up a storm about how captains should handle rookies, media, and transparency. Number 8, Ballesteros' absence in 1981. Yes, the Ryder Cup has had politics for decades. In 1981, Seve Ballesteros, Europe's biggest star at the time, was left off the team amid a bitter dispute with the European Tour over appearance fees and scheduling. Without him, Europe faced an all-time great U.S. team and lost big. The controversy wasn't about a single shot. It was about the principle of the best players needing to be there. It highlighted the uneasy balance between tour politics, qualification rules, and the Ryder Cup's need to showcase the very best. Number 7, Hazeltine heckling. The Ryder Cup thrives on noise, but Hazeltine pushed the line for some. A column by Danny Willett's brother mocked American crowds as a baying mob, and the U.S. galleries responded with flair and, at times, abuse. Danny Willett bore the brunt. Rory McIlroy had hecklers removed. The practice green moment where a fan came out and sank a putt for a $100 bill was unforgettable, but it didn't erase the wider conversation. When does passion turn into poison? Players and captains on both sides called for more respect after this one. Number 6, Patrick Reed's outburst. After a convincing European win in 2018, Reed torched the U.S. team unity narrative in the New York Times, saying he was blindsided by not playing with Jordan Spieth and pointing the finger at Captain Jim Furyk. He said it was a buddy system, and these comments exposed rifts, overshadowed Europe's dominance, and gave oxygen to the question, why can't the U.S. get its team chemistry right? It wasn't just a bad look, it reshaped how the American side talked about accountability and pairings. The Glen Eagles press conference, number 5. In 2014, America had just lost again. Then, live on stage, Phil Mickelson politely but unmistakably ripped apart Captain Tom Watson's approach by praising Paul Azinger's 2008 pod system and implying the team had ignored a successful blueprint. You could feel the room freeze. That moment triggered a U.S. overhaul, the creation of a Ryder Cup task force, and more player-driven model. Whether you saw it as insubordination or honesty, it changed the way the U.S. builds its teams, but it still has yet to bear fruit. Number 4, the concession. On the final green of the final match in 1969, Jack Nicklaus conceded a short putt to Tony Jacklin, having their match and tying the Ryder Cup 16-16, which allowed the U.S. to retain. Some American voices grumbled that he gave away a chance to win outright. Most of the golfing world saw it as a landmark sportsmanship. The debate is part of the legend. Is the Ryder Cup purely about the result, or does it stand for something bigger? Either way, the concession became an enduring symbol of class under pressure. Number 3, War by the Shore. Tension crackled from the first tee in 1991 at Kiowa Island. The U.S. and Europe traded barbs, stare-downs, and gamesmanship. The most notorious flashpoint was Seve Ballesteros and Paul Azinger arguing over a one-ball rule and ball changes in foursomes. Concessions were stingy, and the atmosphere was ultra-patriotic. It all culminated with Bernhard Longer's missed 6-footer that sealed a U.S. win. The episode defined the modern Ryder Cup's intensity and left everyone asking how far is too far when national pride and momentum collide in match play. Number 2, Hatgate. Late on Saturday in 2023, a report claimed Patrick Cantlay wasn't wearing a team hat in protest over players not being paid. The U.S. denied it, saying the hat didn't fit, but the Roman crowd latched on and waved hats all day long. Then on the 18th green, Cantlay's caddy, Joe LaCava, Augusta, celebrated in Rory McIlroy's vicinity, and Rory felt it crossed his line of sight before a crucial putt. Heated words flew on the green and again in the parking lot. Everyone apologized the next morning, but Hatgate dominated headlines and reignited a debate about respect, optics, and where celebration ends and intimidation begins. And finally, number 1, Brookline's 17th green. The U.S. staged a ferocious Sunday comeback in 1999. On the 17th, Justin Leonard drained a 45-footer, and Team USA, players, caddies, and even some spouses rushed the green in celebration while Jose Maria Olazabal still had a putt to tie the hole. That breach of etiquette became the single most infamous image in Ryder Cup history. Olazabal eventually missed, and the U.S. completed the comeback, but the fallout was instant. Accusations of poor sportsmanship overshadowed the result. Add in the earlier heckling of Colin Montgomery, so bad that Payne Stewart conceded their match on 18 to defuse the situation, and Brookline became the cautionary tale. Passion without respect can burn the whole thing down. What moments from 2025 do you think belong on this list? Drop your own pick in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'm Clint McCormick, resident golf professional here at golfspan.com.